So guys, I did a video about a couple of days in regards to this, and basically Essence Janae was hired by Hulk Hogan's team to promote his beer brand, and Hulk Hogan had no idea that she was a melanated woman, but once he showed up and saw her in person and discovered that she was a melanated woman, he fired her the next day. Now the beer company reached out to Essence Janae and assured her that she did nothing wrong. It's just the fact that the client did not want her back. And so we've been waiting for Hogan to respond to this issue, and he hasn't said anything, but the beer company had something to say about what transpired. Peep this.
I brought y'all that story about Hulk Hogan firing that black woman who was his brand ambassador, and when he found out she was a black woman, he fired her the next day and then hired 2 white women the following day. Let me show you what the beer company has to say about this. Hulk Hogan's company has released a statement. The Real American Beer has said the following accusations of firing a brand ambassador for being black were false. But let me show you exactly what they said. We are deeply troubled by the false rumors circulating on social media that a brand ambassador hired by a third-party marketing agency was terminated by Hulk Hogan for racial reasons. That's how we know y'all lying, because it was a third party, which means Hulk Hogan did not know that they were going to be black women. But coincidentally, she got fired and she was told the entire event was canceled, only to notice that the event went on the next day with women. They went on to say Real American Beer simply terminated its short-term relationship with the third-party marketing agency. This is the type of crap they come up with when they have to clean up their own shit. Hulk Hogan was not involved in that decision, according to his beer company. And then they went on to say that race was not a factor. We know you lying. They say, we are in communication with the agency in an attempt to clear the misunderstanding and incorrect information, and believe that this false statement will be withdrawn. No, they're getting with the third-party company to come up with an excuse to clean up their mess. Because we both know Hulk Hogan had to explain himself about being racist, as seen in this video right here.
I'm not racist. I never should have said what I said. It was wrong. I'm embarrassed by it. Not a lot of people need to realize that even here at Dixon Environment, and where I grew up was South Tampa, Ward Tampa, and it was a really rough neighborhood, very low income, and all my friends, we creamed each other saying that word. We teased each other with that word. The word was just thrown around like it was nothing. Actually, the guy my daughter was dating, I liked him a lot. I've known him for quite a while, and I was very mad at the personal situation that happened with my dog.
So every time you get mad, you get racist? Well, you was probably mad that 2 black women showed up to your event as brand ambassadors for your brand. There's no cleaning this up, Hulky. Your Hulkamaniaism is Hulkeracism. You f***ed up and you know you did. You can't clean this up. You and your brand can go to hell.
Alright, so you guys just saw and heard that lame excuse coming from the beer company, and I bet you my last dollar when the beer company says that they're working behind the scenes to straighten the situation out, and hopefully Janae would retract her statement. I guarantee you that they're going to try to offer Janae some type of financial settlement, and I hope that Janae doesn't take it. I hope that she explores all of her legal options, because she was discriminated against. And even though Florida is an at-will state, there are some provisions and protections in place within the union that state that you didn't do anything wrong. It's just the client wants to move on and just terminate the contract. And not only that, the beer company claims that they was just scrapping the whole thing and they wasn't moving forth with the campaign, only for Janae to wake up the next day to see that there were 3 blondes that were hired in her place. Come on now, we know what the issue is. So that statement right there was a bunch of BS. But anyway, let's move along, because I want to talk about 45's biggest fear. Now, there's been heavy speculation that Joe cannot win this year's presidency based off of that disastrous performance that he had at the presidential debate that concluded about 2 weeks ago. So a lot of Democrats are nervous. They're calling him out publicly. They're saying that Joe needs to drop out. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into things right now because I'm working on a video in regards to Project 2025. And if you haven't taken the time to read that, you're doing yourself a disservice, because it's really some deep S that's going on. And this is a spiritual warfare. This is about to get crazy. So I encourage you guys to read up on Project 2025. But like I said, I'm working on a video to bring it to you all and break it all down. Now, while the right is running around here thinking that they have the campaign wrapped up in a bag, They're saying that Donald Trump is still nervous behind the scenes because he's worried about one individual that could sway this election heavily, and that individual is Taylor Swift. So what I'm going to do right here is insert this clip, and I want you guys to really pay attention to what she's saying, and then I'll be back to give you my 2 cents in regards to this situation.
So I'm making this TikTok and I'm looking over there and there's an FUCK Biden sign on this guy's lawn. This is like an impoverished area. So just kind of keep that in mind. But Donald Trump is petrified. He's petrified. You just need to watch what he's saying, what he's doing, and even his demeanor. He knows that this high, this temporary sort of illusionary high that his MAGA supporters are on following the debate and the Supreme Court rulings is literally just an illusion. And the stakes couldn't be higher. He has to win in November. So there's a closed door meeting just this week with Republican senators and House reps and Trump. And according to multiple insiders, that unstable part of his anxious mind, the loop he gets stuck in and he can't control what comes out here, he would not stop obsessing and talking about Taylor Swift. Like he wouldn't stop. He's scared of Taylor Swift. Numerous insiders said this. He wasn't talking about fixing the economy. He wasn't talking about inflation. He wasn't talking about making rent affordable or affording health care, nothing like that. He was talking obsessively about Taylor Swift. Because here's the deal. Taylor Swift finishes her concert tour in the United States. I think she's got 8 shows just before the November election. He's got zero wiggle room. He can't lose any votes. And she's got all these young women who just turned 18 who love her to death and who will be voting. Then you got Project 2025. This whole thing that just happened. And I imagine his conversation with these Project 2025 architects behind closed doors goes something like this. We made a deal. I handed you the government to run, do whatever you wanted, as long as you keep me clean, keep me out of it. And you ruin it for me. You ruin it for me. I could just see him talking like this, right? Just like a good narcissist. He turns on everyone eventually. Here's why he's really scared. We have said before, if he loses in November, these criminal cases are going to spring forward big time. But there's such a high likelihood of jail time. And here's what else he's worried about. If he doesn't have a campaign to run anymore, how is he going to fleece his supporters? Where's he going to get all of this money to pay for his legal fees? Right now, he's got his daughter-in-law grabbing all the money being donated to the RNC, and it's essentially going to pay all his legal fees. That's going to be gone. Financially, he's going to be ruined if he loses this November. Furthermore, he won't have Fox News and the other extreme right entertainment shows covering him obsessively, because to them, he's going to be old news. He's back there. We've got another white nationalist we're hitching our wagon to. We can't keep covering this dude. And with that, he's not going to have his Republican senators and House reps showing up at court every day, kissing his rear end, vying for an appointment in his White House or an endorsement. Even Melania's not going to be there for him. The worst thing that could happen to a toxic narcissist is what is going to happen if he loses this November and he's scared to death. Don't lose sight of these things, folks.
Now, what's interesting about this is that we were having a conversation about a couple of weeks ago at a friend of mine's birthday party about Taylor Swift having the cachet to be able to sway the election, and they believe that she can as well. She is the biggest entertainer in the world, whether you think that she has any talent or not. I personally believe that all it will take is for Taylor to take a segment out of her concert right before the elections and talk about how 45 is so unfit to run this country. And then on top of that, she happens to drop a couple of tears explaining to her fans why it's important to vote to save our democracy and why it's important to vote for Joe Biden. I think it's a wrap. I think that that Biden wins the election, because those young individuals are not going to let Taylor down. They're going to go to the polls and they're going to vote for Biden. But again, I don't want to get too deep into this because I'm working on a video about Project 2025, but I do want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know, do you think that Biden should drop out of the race? And also, do you think that Taylor could sway the election? But anyway, let's move along because I briefly want to discuss this situation that's going down with Diddy. Now, Adria English's lawyer came out and said that Diddy will not be a free man for long. And also, I got some information from my plug, and this information is allegedly coming from Diddy's camp. And they're saying that the real reason the feds raided Diddy's mansions are based off of the fact that he has some incriminating evidence on a major politician. So first, I want to play you this soundbite of Adria English's lawyer talking about Diddy, and then I'll be back to close the video with the information I've received pertaining to this issue.
Where are you and your client with respect to the federal investigation?
So at this time, I can't go into details about that situation. There will be a time where we can talk about that very shortly. I do not want to impede the federal government or anything that they're doing, or to halt or prevent anything that they're doing by preliminarily saying anything or doing anything.
Can I just pick up on something you said?
Very
you said
shortly.
very shortly.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I was just going to go like, I know that I understand what you're saying, that you don't want to interfere with what the feds are doing, but you understand when you say very shortly,
Is something coming down?
Shortly can be perceived anyway. You know, it might be a couple weeks, it might be a couple of months. But I know that there is a finish line that we kind of came in at the end of, and something will be happening sooner rather than later. We're not the first, the second, the seventh, or the ninth people to come out and accuse Mr. Combs of these very, very heinous crimes. We've seen video of at least a snippet of what he did to Miss Ventura, and it just seems like, in addition to what he did that we saw with the planes and the whitewater rafting, him removing all of his Instagram posts, including the apology video, it just really gives a big slap in the face and F you that he is not remorseful for any of his actions. He could care less about how many people come forward. And I think he thinks he's invincible. Honestly, more than anything, I see this as him checking off bucket item lists because he knows what's coming down. He knows it's only a matter of time. The clock is ticking. The walls are closing in. And sooner or later, he'll be behind bars.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. Now let's get into the information that my plug sent me. Now, for the record, this information is all alleged, but I do trust my plug. Now, this particular person says, yeah, bro, this S is political. Someone from Diddy's camp is saying that Diddy was raided for potentially having video footage of a major politician sleeping with a timer. And I'm paraphrasing there. I want you guys to read what it says. And there is also speculation that there was a deletion, I'm paraphrasing again, just read what it says, that was covered up because a major politician was faced with a DL lover outing him and their secret relationship. This politician has secretly been at Diddy's events and showed up in disguise and was ushered to another wing of the mansion where all of the other politicians and powerful pastors were congregating. Then he gave me his office number and I blocked that out, of course. And then I asked him, was it a particular politician? And he did not respond. So that was very telling to me. The silence is deafening and he still has not responded, and I know that he saw what I asked him. Now, if this is true, this supports my argument where I said that they haven't found what they wanted. They haven't gotten what they were looking for. Because at the end of the day, this is why I feel like all these things came out about Cassie. All of these people are coming forth because they're trying to bully Diddy into giving up information or whatever the case may be. And they're trying to break him. Now, listen, he's guilty of a lot of things. And of course, I still want him under the jail. But the way they went after Diddy lets me know that this situation is much deeper than we think. And I'm waiting for my plug to respond to the question I asked him. I asked him, was it a certain person? And he went quiet, which lets me know that I probably got it right. But anyway, I'm gonna draw the line here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.